Language acquisition is a scam. Nah, not really, but somebody had to say something to get your attention. Listen, this is the Metaverse Bible Study Podcast on YouTube. This is Bishop D.D. Lattimore, and I am coming to you about my journey in Spanish. And today we're going to talk about language acquisition. I went down the rabbit hole of language learning, and I'm actually going to give my takes on the kind of things that I learned in this space. And we're going to do no edits, no fluff. You're just going to get straight talk content. Okay. So language learning is simple and yet hard. And when I was trying to learn a language, Spanish particularly, I had to really go down the rabbit hole. And before I get into what I did and what worked for me and why I believe the Bible is the perfect method in order to learn language, and not just Spanish, any language. For those of you who are watching this and you are trying to learn English, then this is all language. I believe that the Bible is the Rosetta Stone for all language. And I'm actually going to show you how to use that tool, that wonderful tool, in order to be fluent and master the language. I know I'm saying a lot here, and I don't want anybody who knows anything about language learning to write me off because I said that. I'm not saying that the Bible is the only tool that you need, but I am saying that once you get everything, your ducks in a row, you get everything in place, that Bible, man, is going to be the thing that takes you into fluency. I'm telling you. And there's a way that I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so stay with me. But language acquisition stems from one man. Okay, I'm pretty sure that this is been something that has been developed centuries and centuries and centuries ago, but this one man popularized it in this modern era, and this one man is none other than Mr. Stephen Krashen himself. Stephen Krashen is the man that made language acquisition, changed the whole narrative on language learning and turned it into language acquisition. And basically, his whole premise is that language learning is about knowing how to do it and how to stay with it. And if you do it, and if you stay with it, anybody can do it. And his whole dog and pony is to expose yourself to as much as the language, get comprehensible input, meaning don't go over your head. You want to have most of what you are learning to be familiar, and just a little degree of difficulty plus novelty will get you to a place where you will acquire the language instead of intensive studying the language. It is an extensive exposure to the language. And if you read enough books, you will acquire the language. And it's so true. It works to acquire the language. As far as passively acquiring the language, understanding the language when it is spoken, when movies, TV shows, music, and what's being said to you in conversation. The problem with language acquisition is that you'll spend 2 years. I'm trying to educate you. 2 years acquiring the language and can't string together 2 sentences. In order for you to speak the language, that's a whole nother skill development. And I wish I knew that before I actually started learning languages. I thought that if you would just acquire the language, then speaking would come naturally, and it doesn't. And I spent the last 2 years acquiring Spanish, and I just, at the time where it was time for me to speak, I couldn't speak. And I found it completely demotivating, and I found it, and that's why, you know, if you understand language acquisition the wrong way, then you can see it as a scam. And that's why I opened it up, this video, the way I opened it up, because language acquisition by itself does not lead to conversational fluency. And the sooner that we wrap our minds around that, the sooner that we can get into a better understanding of how to be well-rounded in speaking any language. Okay. And they'll tell you this, but they don't tell you this until later. And I think that that's a good thing, honestly, because the truth of the matter is that you should understand the language before you try to speak it, at least to some degree. And that could take a month, that can make it take 2 months, that could take 3 months, however comfortable you are. But you have your people in the speak from day one camp, and they are explicit in their speak it. So you are working with two different ideologies, and but using the Bible to learn the language that you're trying to learn is actually where both worlds meet. And I'm gonna show you how to do that. You got to go through the playlist. I want you to walk through every video so that you can understand how I'm trying to put this program together to get you fluent in whatever language you're trying to get in, but also the language that I am teaching currently, and that is with English and Spanish. Okay. So language acquisition is not a scam, but if you think that language acquisition is going to get you to conversational fluency, it is a scam, just to summarize. Okay. So you have to speak it. If you're going to speak well, you have to speak often. But if it wasn't for Stephen Krashen, then we wouldn't understand language acquisition, comprehensible input, the way we understand it today. And so I honestly think that he has done a service to the community and service to everybody that's, you know, looking to learn a language. With that being said, I want you to subscribe, like, and share this video. I definitely want you to comment on this video. I want you to put whatever you think about what I just said in the comments. Okay. What I'm saying is nothing different than what everybody else has been saying, but write it in the comments about what you think I mean, where you think I got it wrong or whatever. And do you agree or don't you agree? Okay. And if you do not agree with me, write it in the comments. The next thing that I want you to do before you get off of this video is, if you are learning a language, if you're learning English, if you're Spanish, if you speak Spanish, you're learning English. If you speak French and you're learning English, take this YouTube video, slow it down, and repeat every word of this video with me. Okay. This will give you a sense of conversational practice. And this is kind of the core of how I am building this page. Everything through the Bible. So I'm going to be talking about pop culture, talking about some things that is important in the United States, that is entertainment in the United States. And if you are trying to get any speaking practice, then you can shadow. That's what we call repeating every word that I say. You can shadow my content, and it'll help you understand conversational fluency a lot better. This is Bishop D.D. Lattimore with the Metaverse Bible Study Podcast on YouTube, and this is my take on Stephen Krashen and the whole theory behind language acquisition, comprehensible input. I'll see you next time.